दोस्तों, ट्रेनिए का आईएएस में आपका फिर से स्वागत है। कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? तो आज का हमारा टॉपिक है कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्ट थ्योरी। दिस थ्योरी वाज पुट फॉरवर्ड बाय अल्फ्रेड वेगनर. Alfred Wegener proposed continental drift theory. Wegner in 1912 proposed continental drift theory. The main objective of Wegner behind finding the theory is to explain the major variation in Earth's climate. So Wagner had made two assumptions. According to Wagner, Earth is made up of three layers. Outer layer, which is made up of silica and aluminium, which we call as continental mass, and the intermediate layers made up of silica and magnesium, which we call as oceanic mass or oceanic crust, and the inner layer is made up of nickel and iron, which we call as core. And the second assumption of Wagner is that Wagner assumed that this continental mass is floating over the oceanic crust, and without any resistance, it is floating. These are the two assumptions which are put forward by Wagner. Let's understand this theory. According to Wagner, during Carboniferous period, there was only a one supercontinent called as Pangea. This you can see in picture, and rest of is ocean, which is Panthalassa. All the continents were combined together to form a single continental mass. Today we have seven continents which all are combined. So you can see in the picture that this is Eurasia, North America, South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, India, and every other continental mass is combined together on and form a one supercontinent, which is Pangea. And other than this continent, there is ocean, one super ocean, which is called as Panthalassa. Then, according to Wagner, there was a east to west rift breaking this continent into two parts. As you can see in the picture, the northern part, which is known as Angara-land, while the southern part is known as Gondwanaland. Then part is Angara-land, or here, as mentioned, is Laurasia, as Europe, Asia, and North America is combined together. And due to east-west drift, this supercontinent Pangea got split into two landmass. Northern one is known as Angara Land, while the southern hemisphere landmass is known as Gondwana Land. This northern portion consisted of North America, Greenland, Eurasia, while this southern part consists of Africa with Madagascar, India, South America, Arabia, Antarctica, and Australia. As you can see, uh, in northern hemisphere there is Eurasia, but this Eurasia does not include our India. India is in southern hemisphere, that is Gondwana land. As you have heard that India is a part of Gondwana land in your school books, NCRTs. You have read that. In between this northern Angara land and southern Gondwana land, there is a sea which is known as Tethys Sea. This Tethys Sea divided the northern Angara lands and southern Gondwana land. So in this map you can see that there is North America. It's all is Europe, Asia, but the India is not here. This is India, and this is South America, Africa. These all are land masses. Then there was a north to south rift which separated North America from Eurasia and South America from Africa, and this Africa started to move towards east. As you can see this is Pangea, which got separated by east-west rift into northern Angara and southern Gondwana, and because of the further north to south rift, this North America gets separated from Asia Eurasia, and South America got separated from Africa. And this Africa started its eastward journey, and India started to move towards north. Australia got separated from Antarctica. This is Australia, which got separated from Antarctica, and Australia started to move towards east, while Africa moved toward north. And at the last, finally, the Arabia got separated from Africa and merged with Asia. The north-south rift, which separated from further these land masses. North America separated from Eurasia, South America from Africa. Africa started its westward journey. Started to move toward north. Australia got separated from Antarctica and moved toward east, while Africa moved toward north. We can further understand this separation with the help of animation. As you can see that initial there was a big continent which got separated, and finally which resulted into the today's Earth, result of the this continental drift. But what are the forces that are responsible for this motion of these continents? There are basically two forces which are responsible for the movement. First force is fleeing force. Pole fleeing force is the force which is related to the rotation of the earth. Because of this rotation of the earth, this pole fleeing force is generated. According to Wegner, this pole fleeing force is responsible for equatorward motion of these landmass. The second force which Wegner termed is tidal force. This tidal force generated due to tides generated to the gravitational attraction of sun and moon. So according to Wagner, this tidal force is responsible for the westward motion. What are the evidences that prove the continental drift theory? First evidence is jigsaw fit. What is this jigsaw fit? Jigsaw fit is similarities in the coastline between opposite sides of the continents, and if we merge them, then they will form a one supercontinent. As you can see here, there are the similarities of the coastline of this South America and Africa, as it is like that Africa had broken off from this South America. There is the similarities of the coastline, and there's the similarity of the coastline of India. This India is similar to this part of Africa, and Australia is similar to Antarctica. First evidence is jigsaw fit. Second evidence is structural evidences. That is, the mountain belts of Brazil, which terminates on the east coast of Brazil, the similar type of mountain we found on the west coast of Africa. Between two continents, we can't find the similar type of rock, similar type of mountains. There are differences in the composition of the rocks, but we can find the same mountain belts near Brazil and on the west coast of Africa. So this is also evidence. The third evidence we got is the fossil evidence. Fossil evidence of a Mesosaurus. This Mesosaurus is basically an aquatic reptile whose fossil remnants are found from eastern coast of South America, and also this fossil is found from Africa. So how this small reptile whose fossils is found in Africa as well as in mm, America swim this vast Atlantic Ocean? This Mesosaurus is not capable of swimming this vast Atlantic Oceans. So it also proved that once these continents are merged together. And similarly, there is also a Glossopteris, a fern grown in subpolar climate, whose fossils are found in warm climatic regions. So these are the fossil evidences. This Glossopteris. Then fourth evidence is glacial deposits. Which we found in glaciers. It's created due to the erosion in the glaciers. We can find that this tillage evidence in the warm tropical regions. So this is the fourth evidence that is proving this continental drift theory. And the fifth evidence is placer deposit. Placer deposit of gold, which we found from Ghana coast. But in this Ghana coast of Africa, there is no source of gold, and the source we can find from Brazil. But in the Brazil, there is no deposit of the gold placer. So this is also the evidence proving that continentals have drifted in the past. So this is our continental drift theory proposed by Alfred Wegener. And this theory has many criticisms also. So let's see this and some criticisms of Wegener's theory. First criticism is of this continental drift theory is the forces which are envisaged by the Wegener for the movements of continent are found to be inadequate. Many geographers and scientists believe that the forces which Wagner tell about tell that which are responsible for the movements of continents are inadequate, and these forces are incapable of moving this large landmass, that is pole filling force and tidal forces. First believe that along with these forces there are some more forces which are responsible for the movement of these continents. So first criticism is forces envisaged for the movement of continent were considered to be inadequate, and the second criticisms of Wagner is that as Wagner has proposed that this continental crust is floating over the oceanic crust, but geographers pointed out that the rocks of the continental crust and oceanic crust are rigid and would not permit easy drifting of the continent over the oceanic crust. Geographers said that these rocks are very rigid and these rocks will not permit the drifting of the continents over this oceanic crust. So this is second criticism. And third criticism is that Wagner theory only put forward the condition of the Carboniferous period. This theory does not describe the condition of pre-Carboniferous period. The third criticism is that pre-Carboniferous time conditions are not described by the theory of Alfred Wegener. Friends, as we are preparing for UPSC, we have to do answer writing. Answer writing is the key to clear means examination. So, in geography, diagram will fetch you one more marks. So, let's try to make the diagram of this continental drift theory. This is our Earth in Carboniferous period. There is a one supercontinent called as Pangea with Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and everything. Continents known as Pangea, and the ocean known as Panthalassa. This is the condition of Carboniferous period. On the timeline of Carboniferous period, it's nearly 225 million years ago. Then, then this Pangea got split into northern Angara land and southern Gondwanaland. Which is separated by Tethys Sea. Further north-south drift causes the further breakdown of these continents, and the continents started their journey from what the position is today. It is nearly 65 million years ago that continent breaks and started their journey. Finally, present day Earth, which we can make like this. This is North America, then South America, Africa. This is this is Greenland, Australia. So we can make this diagram. No, this is not accurate, but diagrammatic representation is essential for our answer writing. So, friends, thank you. This is for our today's class. I hope you find the class productive. Keep smiling, as life is too short to be tensed. So, enjoy what you are facing.